Morning, T-Wall. Mr. Rogan, good morning. Alrighty, let's do this. David Cartagena says, I was thinking we will probably see SPY at 1K in our lifetime. It depends. It definitely depends. It depends on what's going to happen after all the boomers pass away. It's sad to think about, man. Our parents are getting old. Um, but what happens after they pass away? All that wealth has to go to us. I feel like there's something big that's going to happen when that wealth does transfer. Um, and the newer people that will get into, say, like office, the people that we vote into after all the old people again pass away, maybe we start leaning into being less money oriented. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I believe in one way or another, but I do see things changing right now. The way that we are going, if nothing changes, yeah, I definitely see it. Maybe by the time we're like 60, maybe 50, dude. Honestly. Happy OPEX. Today's the big expiry day. Let me just double check here. Yep. October 18th. Happy Friday, y'all, for those that are tuning in. Happy Friday. Wow, claim a 2% bonus on transfers with a margin balance of 10K or more. Wow, they are really leaning into. Wow. Man, I might have to do this. You can enable margin investing to unlock 1K of interest for free. I think I could use that responsibly for this account. I think I could do that. I wouldn't want like 20K or something, but I could do 1K free. Unless if it's like unlimited, but the first one is free. I don't want to enable myself. Parents getting older, so we spies up 400%, 400 points like in the last decade. That's true. I mean, barring a huge event happening, yeah, I see SPY hitting it a lot sooner. I didn't want to say any doom and gloom stuff because I don't believe in doom and gloom. You don't pay the loan fee on the first 1K. Did you do this? I'm gonna actually duplicate this tab and I'm gonna look at it privately because I don't want it to show like, private stuff. If I click on, let me see, enable margin. This isn't a one-click thing, right? Okay, no. Increase your buying power by borrowing against your portfolio. Get rates starting at 6.25%. Margin investing can amplify your returns, also magnify your losses. Seems good. Option experience. Yeah, way more than that. Okay. Would holds you been? Oh, let me just go in order. Enabled, yeah. Chromie, what up? Good morning. Chromie using the TG emotes. You have been feeling that interest decrease on your cash. With something high dividend with extra margin. Maybe Mo or Altria. I call it Mo because that's the stock ticker. Dang, do I actually want this? What determines if I use the amount for margin or not? Margin is anything past my buying power? Because I don't want to not be able to use my whole buying power without using $1,000 in margin. That's like the only thing I think is predatory. Past cash amount. This is like the highest level of trust me, bro, I think I've ever taken. You can borrow up to $4,000 because I put that I'm unemployed. Your amount borrow is based on, yep, okay, cool. Review agreements. I would rather just borrow the free 1K, but you know they do this for a reason. Okay. I mean, there's like really no point in. I got my buying power up, so if I refresh, whew, I've joined the dark side. Margin total, individual cash, set borrowing limit. Oh, dude. Okay, I was gonna say this is pretty predatory, but I like this. Okay, we just got $1,000. I'm down. Okay, that's amazing. Wow. Wow, we got $1,000. Let's go. Okay, that allows us to do some cool stuff, I think, because we were in the. We can do 2 more of something. Look at that, Dillo. That's great. Yeah, I'm not, dude. I don't want to be racing against no margin rate timer, bro. Here, we're gonna let you borrow thousands of dollars, but you have to guarantee you make 3% or more. Dude, you're taxing me 3% of my gains every month. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want that timer. I want to take my time because I'm doing this for the rest of my life. But yeah, talk about sticking in a high dividend stock. I was thinking about Altria. You know, I don't smoke, but I will partake if my friends are doing it. You know, that peer pressure stuff. I checked Altria the other day. and I was like, it had to have gone up because everyone is doing those Zen pouches, you know. I was just like, yeah, it made total sense. But now Altria is going back down. Good morning. Bespada says Hood is allowing you to borrow specific margin amounts. Yeah, if I go here, update borrow limit is where this is at. That's a pretty cool feature, man. That's a pretty cool feature. Alarmingly, but also not shockingly, I didn't get invited to that web client beta, which is insane because I literally stream in front of people showing this off like every day. But you know, my feelings aren't hurt or anything. Vlad. Zen is owned by PM? What? What? Oh. Oh, I could have seen this coming a mile away. Oh. Oh, I thought dude, I just chose. Oh, and I didn't choose. I just thought of Altria because it's tobacco. But I didn't know Zins was owned by a public company. Oh wow. I think my Google search for that day was just, does Altria own Zins? And it said no. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just keep an eye on it. That's good to know. That's good to know. They're spending $600 million on a new facility in Colorado to expand production. That's crazy. So they're bringing it to the United States. From what I understand, Zins are always shipped here, overseas. And honestly, I just want to put in this disclaimer: smoking is really bad for you, and you should never do it. Addictions start from you just doing it for fun. Okay, there are just some people that just do it for fun, and that's a grown-up activity. But if you're underage, don't even think about doing it. It's really bad for you. It messes up your brain. if you're young, your brain's probably still developing. Okay, the brain rotting you're doing, the Zins you're taking, and the vape you're smoking, are all messing you up. Be careful. I appreciate the health PSA. Of course. Of course. Bum, bum, bum. It's weird, though, that, like, I can take copious amounts of caffeine, but the other substance, no, not so much. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. No way I'm a Remo raid. I'm gonna pull up incognito and look up what Remo raid is. Remo raid, what is this? Oh, that's the Gen 2 Pokemon that goes under the Sharkpedo in the anime. Remo raid. I have not heard of that in so long. Same generation as Octillery. Mumble says LOL. Yeah. Here, why don't I do a reroll? Someone yesterday was Lugia. I don't remember. Dude, Lugia is so huge. Let me disconnect. I'm gonna refresh everybody. Ready? Where is Oh, I remember. I don't need to disconnect this to. Okay, everyone's re-rolled. I'm gonna keep this on for the next week. Good luck. Someone's a huge Gyarados. Who's this? Oh, it's Vespada. Okay. T-Wall. Mischievous. Well, we got two of them. Slow. I don't know how it works out, but I'm always Pikachu. I think that's like a default setting, but that's like perfect because that's my PFP. Right now, we see Nvidia basically trading flat for today. Had a good spike in the morning, but it's headed back down. In the very short term, I think a downtrend is starting to happen. It's not convincing though, especially with volume of a Friday. It's not that big of a deal. New low of the day. We'll see if Nvidia flips red. That wouldn't be good. That'd be two red days in a row. I took Delta off yesterday. I closed some of my winners as well as some of my losers yesterday. So I just have less money exposed going into this weekend. If Nvidia goes sub 131 by next week, it will be golden. Elaborate. Why will it be golden? I'm curious. Hey Joonie, I've probably asked this, but what conditions do you usually sell a put credit spread in? The stock is trading up and I'm bullish. Do I wait for a red day or just do it whenever to be invested? Thank you. You do it whenever you want to be invested. Okay, so a lot of people will choose to not do a put credit spread because they'll wait for a red day. And then you can imagine how many times you're going to miss out on really great stocks because of movement like this. This is an amazing place to trade a put credit spread despite, having these down waves. Okay? But with a long enough time period, say like 30 to 45 days, it'll all work itself out most of the time. That's why they have a 70% chance to win. The way I think people get caught up is if you try to min-max your put credit spread, and these are strategies that bet, hey, it's going to be this price or higher. That's how those win. So you have two scenarios where you win. It's either it trades flat or it trades up. Okay. The way that this probability of profit starts to not work in your favor is when you try to min-max. You try to time the living hell out of the stock. If you are just either bad, which I don't think you are, I think everyone's just learning, or your system or whatever rules you are going in with your put credit spread is, if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. And that means your put credit spread will never even have a chance to win. Meaning like you're picking date to expirations that are too soon. Your width is too wide for the amount of probability of profit that you're taking in or for the amount of premium that you're taking in. So you ask me, do I wait for a red day? My answer is just straight up no. You go in when you want to make the trade. It's the other things that make up a good trade. I don't think a stock being red or green should ever really influence your put credit spread decision. You know, because think about it. Like if you asked, or if you told a newer investor that just like slammed a whole bunch of YouTube on like common trading tropes, and you told them, yeah, man, I'm a super sick investor. I only sell put credit spreads when the market is red, you know? And then they would say, aren't you just catching the knife? I've been watching some videos about, like, that could be an example of catching the knife. How is that not catching the knife? Well, you see, the way that I do it is I just got this gut feeling that it's gonna bounce tomorrow. So I'm just getting it cheaper today. And then your buddy says, but what if it goes down tomorrow? And then you say, no, I've seen this before. And then you do your put credit spread. Your buddy keeps watching these videos, learning about the fundamentals of investing. And then you silently lose because you don't want to own up to your actions. You don't want to be accountable. And you guys just don't talk about that trade. And then you guys just continue being friends. That's typically how it goes. Now, if you flip that, if you say, hey, Jared, I'm selling this put credit spread today. And the friend says, wow, it's green. Aren't you scared that you're selling this put credit spread at the top? What happens if it goes down? But you go to the Twitch, Joonie's Twitch stream, and you know that he sells put credit spreads when the stock is green. I'm selling this put credit spread because trend is your friend. When the stock is going up, chances are it'll keep going up. Trend is your friend. I'm not trying to catch no knife. I'm not trying to time anything. I'm just trying to play with everybody else. And that's why I like doing put credit spreads on green days. It's a bit backwards, but I feel like it's because, you know, this space is honestly so new. Like Tom Sosnoff and Dave, the Batman, from Tasty, they're really the pioneers of a lot of really cool ideologies behind selling options. And there are only like a handful of like real genuine people on YouTube. But like the community is also just really small. So I'm earning my stripes. I'm not in a position to really say like, hey, this is the definitive way to do it. But I can offer a different perspective. So a lot of people on the internet, they like to regurgitate things like, oh yeah, I like to sell put credit spreads on red days and get extra premium because it'll bounce. I used to believe in that, but now I don't. But that's the most genuine take I can give. It's like I'm still learning. That's something I fundamentally do. But the best part, I think, that differentiates me from literally everybody else is that you guys actually have access to this. You guys can see this. It's like, oh, does Joonie actually know what he's talking about? And if you're newer, you might just be like, wow, Joonie's just getting lucky this year. I've been doing this for 5.5 years, almost 6 years now. I'll continue doing this. So just keep stopping by. Just keep stopping by. So yeah, that was a long-winded way of saying sell put credit spreads on green days, but just make sure the rest of your system is good. And determining whether or not a system is good is very definitive. Does your system win? Are you actually closing green trades? Next level from there is like, are you closing green enough? And then next level from there is tweaking it to maximize. Number 1 is just getting green trades on the table, I think. Number 2 is making sure you're getting enough. Number 3 is adding more risk according to your skill gauge. Hey, Joonie, I've probably asked this, but wrong one. I bought some Nike. I saw that you bought some Nike shares. I saw that. A little bit thinking of buying a put on Nvidia or Soxel. I have 5 120 puts on Nvidia, and I just want to let you know that this is strictly because I have Nvidia positions. Okay, if I didn't have any Nvidia, I would not be buying a put. I think that's burning money, just straight up. Because I know I'm gonna go on this like 2-minute tangent of like showing why I bought these puts, and you guys, you guys watching at home. Hey, I work for myself. I'm allowed to do that. I'm gonna go on this 2-minute bender of showing you why I bought these puts, and you're gonna be enticed to. Don't copy me. This is a very portfolio specific batch of puts that I bought for myself. I have a buy right that's about to be called away. That's amazing. But I also have 4 cash secured puts. 3 of which are close enough to the money where I'm kind of scared about Nvidia just wiping this entire gain out off the table. So I have these puts ready to go. So don't copy me, especially if you have no Nvidia at all. So I was here, and I was just looking at the November 15 day. Or maybe it's changed a little bit by now. Is that the expiration that I picked? Yeah, November 15. It changed a little bit. It went down even lower. So when I initially opened this position, max pain was at 120. And then I had looked at Nvidia's chart here. This is Tasty Trade, by the way. You can use my Tasty Trade link to sign up. I came here and I looked at November 15 expiration. And I was like, 120 is possible because this blue line is what's called standard deviation right here. It's like, where is this stock expected to move? And it's expected to move between these 2 lines. This is the sort of like call line. This is the put line, the one that's down below. And it's expected to 120 would not be crazy, is what that says. Within 1 standard deviation. And I was like, you know what? I have a huge Nvidia position. I need to have some sort of protection to make myself feel better. So I bought these puts because maximum pain says we're going to head down there if the dealers, or rather the market makers, want to win. Max pain is taking the total of the put side and the call side of the open interest, which is also shown in Tasty Trade. So you can see open interest here, open interest here. And then combined all of these numbers for each particular strike, where do the most amount of people lose? You know, if these market makers are selling all of these contracts to the people that are buying them, right? All these gamblers, they want those options to expire out the money so they could use their massive amounts of money that they have in reserve to influence the stock price to get your contracts out the money. That is a very tinfoil hat. Okay? It's a very tinfoil hat concept. But that's why it's called maximum pain theory. Okay? So a lot of people just allude to it saying maximum pain, and I do too because it's shorter, but it is a theory. So don't fall into it too hard. And when a stock is really high, and this is a little bit of wisdom I'm passing down. When a stock is really high or on a really good tear, max pain is always below the actual price of the stock. And that's because just when a stock is going up, people get hyped and they all buy calls. If Nvidia goes sub 131 by next week, we'll be golden. Personal reasons, LOL, so I get to keep the shares from the CC. Oh, you. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, to answer your question, Dillo, that's why I bought my puts. Nvidia says, there's a good chance of a 10% correction. Or maximum pain says there's a good chance of like a 10% correction. If you believe that theory alone. But It doesn't necessarily pay to be bearish on the number one stock in the stock market either. That trade usually blows up. And not last but not least, but just one more piece of wisdom, something that I saw this week in the Discord, is buying puts. Buying puts because of a stock just solely being up or has gone up too high is probably one of the best indicators to not do it. I don't know. I just joke around about it too much on Twitter, not just to not mention it. But if you think a stock has gone up too high, and that's the only reason why you buy puts, it's not a good play. So try not to make a bad habit out of thinking like that. So Dillo, if you're thinking about buying puts just solely because, hey, I think Nvidia has gone up too high, that play just doesn't work out most of the time. Can it work out? Yes, absolutely. But like, just keep the play small and experiment with it, because it does require some skill, right? Like, you do need to pick a reasonable strike, a reasonable expiration in accordance to how much portfolio balance you have. That is some level of skill or expertise that you need to have. But you also need, on top of that, which is the part that I don't like the most, is that you need a lot of luck. Okay, it doesn't matter what supports or what indicators you see. You need a lot of luck for that play to play out. A lot of my plays this year have been lucky, but I've also generated that luck over, grooming several trades together. That includes like a lot of like Robinhood. Get in with buy rights, roll the covered calls a few times, exit eventually with a profit, go back in with a massive amount of cash secured puts because I feel like I'm at a good cost basis. That sort of stuff. But I'm not necessarily trying to time anything. I'm always just trading within my means inside of my portfolio. So if you bought long puts on Nvidia because you have a large Nvidia position, I'm game. But again, if you don't have an Nvidia position and you're just like, oh man, all these people winning, there's no way the stock could go up forever. I feel like that's just like a hate trade almost. Why the 260 calls expiring today? XD. Let me see. Let me see. Today 26. Does it even? Oh Lord. 75,000. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at this open interest, dude. 75. Wow, there's one of these. This is like a hedge fund or something. Someone has one 280 put. That's to cover a lot of Nvidia. Holy moly. 75,000 open interest at the 280 strike price that expires today. That's crazy. That's so insane. Oh my goodness, look at all of this. 60,000 open interest at 141. Oh my Lord. If you thought, oh dude, there's just way too much open interest right now. So a lot of people right now are probably like watching Nvidia like a hawk, right? Let me see here. I'm going to try to illustrate a point for you guys. Today's a pretty educational stream. I'm not going to lie. So here's Nvidia. So Nvidia on a downtrend, and you can imagine that people are like, oh, at the last minutes of the bell, the stock can go up a lot, or it could go down a lot. People like to day trade this 0 day expiration, right? It's quick, it's easy, it's volatile. Any sort of big move up can, buy you Lambo. Um, this is also why on Friday it seems like the stock market sometimes doesn't move a lot. A lot of people like to attribute it to the weekend, right? People are managing their positions heading into the weekend. I do too. I say that all the time. It's like, oh, people are going to be more chill and whatnot. One of the reasons, I'm not going to say the reason why, but one of the reasons why stocks typically don't move as much is because they have to facilitate all the people that are like trading these contracts here. Because again, these contracts still represent 100 shares, no matter what side you're on. So you have to respect the prices that are here. You also have to respect the open interest that is here. Because anytime you're thinking like, oh, I could just buy the stock, the huge people at the top don't need to necessarily buy the stock. They'll just buy options here. And if there's any good disparity between the two, they're just gonna float to the other one and then make that one even more expensive to just catch up to the other one. So there's no real arbitrage that can happen. These are just basically 100 shares at all times, okay, against the clock. So if we know that these contracts represent 100 shares, then we know that if we give 100, this is 128,000 people. This is 128,000 contracts. This could theoretically be one person with 128,000 contracts, but it's not. It's a whole bunch of people. But 128,000 contracts say, hey, I have the right to buy 100 shares at 138. Okay? So if this contract is worth $24, okay, or aka 24 cents per, then the price of the stock would need to go above 138.24 to justify getting into here. And then that's a lot of volume that this needs to churn through. So the amount of open interest in calls acts as sort of like a resistance. Because if I want to be able to buy 100 or say like 100 shares at 138, I'll just buy this contract for 120 for 22 cents. Or for $22, I get just representing from the buyer side. So there's little reason for this to go up higher than 138.24 right now. It's currently trading at 137 and 73 cents, 74 cents. But you can see why this is happening because it's the last day. There's so many contracts at this price level. Why would it go higher than 138 when I could just buy the right to do that right now for $22? But Joonie, it can go up to 139 or 140 by the end of the day. That's how gamblers think. That's not how market manipulators or the big boys think. The big boys are just continuing to prune and groom their portfolios. They're not trying to make big bets like this. They can't afford to lose their clients' money like this. So when you're in here, when you're looking at 0DTE, you have to be in here and say, you know what? This is 128.52. This is nearly 300,000 contracts that it would need to churn through to get above 140. If it goes above 140 today, that's crazy. That would be an insane move. There probably needs to be some external factor that needs to come in, like some announcement, some upgrade, some leaked earnings for next week. I don't know, but keep this in mind next time you are thinking about trading 0DTE. Be careful. And I hope I explained that in a non-confusing way. Oh, sorry. Boom. I got here, let me do this because I feel confident when it's this close. Test. Okay, I think this is much better. And then I do this, something like this. Okay. Again, happy Friday, y'all. Thank you for being here. Nvidia continuing with the downtrend today. Wow, Micron, ARM, and Broadcom. Broadcom is falling off a cliff. What is going on? Okay. Okay. Not gonna lie, that's kind of spooking me, right? That's like this is alerting me a little bit, saying, Joonie, do something. I kind of like this view a lot, where my screen is this size. It looks clean, right? Like I feel like you guys, when I have the view like this, I feel like you guys are always just like trying to peek at, like, what is Joonie looking at the bottom half? You guys like this even though it's smaller, or would you rather have me here's a graph, here's an example graph, or do you guys like it like this? 1 or 2? Yeah, I feel like an optometrist. 1 or 2? Because I guess when I click into one of these, 1 or 2? Advanced tab. 1, 2. All right, okay. Not everyone at once. Okay. And no one wants to make the lasting impact of the stream. I'll keep it here for now. I'll just see if it's too illegible. $9:41. I have to record the podcast right after this, so I gotta stop the stream in about 20 minutes. We did get a free $1,000. Not free. I already pay them, but it's free to me because I've been paying them for so long. Where do we park $1,000? That's kind of insane that they give you free $1,000. I mean, the math and how that plays out is that they bet that most people won't limit the margin. That has to be it. It's honestly, they're not. I don't think they're bad for doing it, right? Enabling futures trading. I don't know. It just seems like they're really leading into, like, how can we get as much of the money from gamblers as possible, which makes sense because it is like legalized gambling, trading stocks, and that's already like a huge industry. But it does enable some really bad trading patterns if you're not educated fast enough. But I mean, I guess you could really say that about like really anything, like tobacco, gambling, sports betting. Like if you're just not properly educated, you're not gonna have a good time. Like position sizing or addiction. But there is a lot of money in it, and especially since the futures contracts, I saw like it's 50 cents or 75 cents. Dude, that is so much more expensive than trading a single contract. A single contract is 3 cents, right? It's 3 cents to open and close on Robinhood. But for a futures contract, 50 and 75 cents. The extra $1,000 allows me to get into Palantir. That's pretty interesting. This would be a trade I would not normally be able to do on a good uptrend. Earnings are soon, 16 days. Maybe I could get into a 14-day contract. For 42.5, I think there's a good chance we're gonna go with Palantir actually. Been meaning to do it, haven't had the capital to be able to do it, but the $1,000 makes the difference today. Let's check it out. Okay, 1 year time frame. It's pretty up there. How do you track the 1K on Robinhood? I'm tracking it. Oh, you're talking about like how do you track the 1K on Robinhood on datagang.com, or how am I tracking it on Robinhood.com? I'm curious, or I'm scared that if you type in .com, you're gonna actually get which one without the dot. Right, there you go. Cool. That's what I thought you were asking initially, and then I confused myself. So I go here, and then buying power tab, and then update borrow limit, and then I put $1,000 here. This is already the same one, so I'm not gonna change it. But you see this margin total is 1,000. I get 1,000 for free. I'm just gonna use 1,000. Did that answer your question? Mumble is a longtime viewer, so I like to be in depth. Yeah, because I have the same thing, just don't want to go over. Thank you. You're very welcome. Yeah. Putting yourself on a timer for margin, I don't know, it works for some people. I really don't enjoy it. I'm on margin in Tasty Trade. And I'm thankful to be able to trade with margin and be, somewhat decent at it. Not trying to toot my own horn too much, but there is a world where I wish I could just trade with a cash balance, but like be trusted with cash secured puts and stuff. But that's just typically not how it works. In order to do like naked strategies, like cash secured puts or covered calls, you need to have margin to be able to enter and exit reliably. So, because there are times where maybe you want to sell the shares first, and then your covered call turns into a naked call, or maybe you're entering with cash secured puts, and then you're moving money around. There are scenarios where your trade type can change after you enter. Having that flexibility is amazing, but you do have to be on a margin account to typically do those types of trades. You can still be charged interest on the amount of cash used that goes over your settled cash. I understand that, but the promotion was the first $1,000 is free. Yeah. So that's why I cap it at $1,000. I would totally see the point in like mentioning that, like if I was say, if I didn't put a borrowing limit on it and be like, oh yeah, definitely. I'm much past the point of understanding how margin works. But that's also a good point. When I first started, I didn't know much about margin. Margin, or when you apply for margin, get margin in a brokerage account, it is a loan. Cavitate says it the best. It is basically a loan. The interest rate on it is. This is where I show a little bit my Wall Street bets degeneracy. The interest rate on margin loans is actually pretty good. It's way better than a personal loan. So what you typically find on Wall Street bets is those people that take out personal loans with like 50% APR are the ones that like have already blown through their margin on their brokerage account. And so they take out the personal loan to deposit into their brokerage account to settle that, take out more margin in the brokerage account, but then now they're stuck underwater with a minus 50% to 30% APR, and that's horrible. Imagine having to make at least 15 or 30% gains. That pressure is immountable. Yeah, I never go over my settled cash. I love that. I advocate for that so often on the podcast. You have no idea. I am on your side. I feel like I do a good job of like kind of sort of being in the middle of being risky and being responsible, but that doesn't come from just having thought this in the beginning. I was very, very risk heavy when I first started. I lost a lot of money. I made a lot of money, and then one day I just got tired of it, dude. I just couldn't do it. So I needed a way to trade responsibly but still have fun, and I really think I found the way that I like to do that. Also, trading with other people is amazing. If you haven't found the community yet, I hope this stream could be your community. We're a group of nice people here. There's no one, I think, like shouting like, oh, this penny stock, or oh, this meme stock is going to the moon. No, man. We're good. We're good. I kind of wish I had the ego to be bearish on those types of trades with like maybe call credit spreads or something, and then I can make content out of it, because then a lot of people would watch it. But I'm not good at call credit spreads. Just straight up, like I just know that. So maybe that's a task for future Joonie. Nvidia is going up now. Oh, I typed in the entire thing. I thought that was Google. Portfolio manager manage risk. Retail traders manage profit. Oh, that's a cold one-liner. That's a cold one-liner. I like that. I try to have the mentality of managing risk. Yeah, because I like that, because that implies that you're using your capital as much as possible. I love that, actually. Nvidia's on the move. End of day. The 138s have doubled in price. That's one thing to consider. This has gone up about like 2 cents, which is also double in price. Lots of money to be made here. Lots. I spent a lot of time looking for different stock communities, and this is definitely my favorite. Yeah, dude, you're pretty recent if I'm remembering. I don't have my Twitch UI. I'm using only the Streamlabs UI right now because I only have one screen. That's kind of wild, right? I feel like a lot of people have multiple screens now. But the way that my working environment's set up, I only use one screen, and so I can only I can't look at chat histories. But from what I remember, Chromie, you're pretty new, but yeah, definitely a regular. So thank you. Kaput says my Peloton stock is going to get called away 2 weeks prior to earnings. I think I will stay on the sidelines for now. Interesting. You know, something that tells me of why I'm looking at. Okay, so I don't. Let me get this first and foremost. I never look at penny stocks, but Kaput has been supporting me since forever. I mean, so has Slow Motion. If you guys see him in the chat and stuff, there are people in here that are not just like regular viewers. There are people in here that have supported me for nearly half a decade. So this is a exception that I will always pull for Kaput. Kaput's a very heavy Peloton trader or Peloton trader. Here you go. No longer a penny stock. It's above $5. Do I use my free $1,000 to just slam it into Peloton? I mean, the risk reward seems pretty good. What a move. $450. On the technical side, I don't see much reason for it to not go up. So this is like a little bit of my unbiased perspective, Kaput. Like, I think staying on the sidelines, your risk reward. I mean, it just also depends. Like, did you just close for a net profit? Did you get called away at a net loss? But simply getting out, just for the sake of, you know, oh, I got called away, and not going back in is, yeah, it might not be the best. Golden Cross happened on this huge volume move. On the shorter time frames, 3 month went down to the 200 EMA. Price went below. It seems good. But yeah, this recent move up, it was huge, almost 618. That's my perspective. So when you're thinking about just going on the sidelines, because you can imagine. Let me pause myself. Let me gather my thoughts. I was just gonna ramble. Okay, I think there are a lot of differences between Peloton and Nvidia, but you can build good habits from bad stocks as well. There are a lot of people that looked at Nvidia going like this and then decided, you know what, my covered call got called away, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines, I'm gonna wait for a red day. But then they haven't gone to like Joonie's Twitch stream, and then they don't know about Trend is Your Friend, and so they miss out on like literally all of this because they want to save like a few dollars. So the way that I combat this, because you're probably like, well, Joonie, how did you do that? How did you like trade through all of this? Like, why did you? How could you possibly do that? It had to have come down, and it has, right? We see that 1, 2, 3, 4, all very scary times. The way that you get over this hump of like, oh, my shares got called away from a covered call, I'm scared to go in, I'm gonna say on the sidelines, is you play it anyway. You play it, but maybe a smaller amount that just changes your perspective from, oh, I walked away with my covered calls, taking away my stocks, I'm good. You should just say, my stock got called away, I want to keep playing. Don't have the first instinct of loss aversion of saying like, oh, I walked away with a profit, I don't want to give any of my profit back. Just be open to losing, but not, of course, losing your entire profit maybe, So have a plan to keep playing it and be wrong. And just have the skill being keeping your wrong moments small, A lot of people get carried away with like walking away with a profit and then just like wiping their hands off and they're done. But if you find your bread and butter stock that you like to trade, having your stock get called away for a profit is a good thing. You now have more capital to enter a new trade. If you start trying to time things, you sort of miss out on these like home run plays, and then you can kind of see that here. Nvidia has absolutely been my home run play for this year. It's about half of my gains for the year. The other half is from this other assortment. For those that are like, wow, he's showing his profit loss. This is what I do. These are my worst performing ones and my best performing ones here. Put in DNN, uranium is hot, no pun intended. Yeah, I saw that on Wall Street Bets. Seeing nuclear go on Wall Street Bets scared me. So I actually don't like trading nuclear right now. Kind of waiting for it to get off the front page. They don't have a CEO, and earnings for this past quarter is typically not good. Okay, remember a time when Piton was over 100? I do remember that. Net profit 745. I was signed at 450. 10 contracts sold at 5, expiring tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. Peloton all-time high was 169. Nice. Overpriced stationary bikes with a screen on it. You pay a sub for the classes. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Yep. Peloton has never had a profit. P&E less than 0, so hard to play something like that. Dude, are you guys ready for like a little preview? Let me see. How can I do this? No, I can't. It's not. I've made another YouTube video. It's done. And it's ready to be uploaded, but it's being sent to Tasty's compliance team. They have to sign off on it because I'm a marketing partner or whatever. Oh, and speaking of, if you want to help support me, and if you also want to use Tasty Trade, please sign up with using my referral code, or rather using that sign up link. It helps a bunch. But yeah, I made a video, and in the video, one of the topics is like, I don't trade companies that don't have a P&E ratio. That's just like not something I do. So I would agree. I think you and me could put on the same wavelength with that idea. Honestly, I think selling covered calls feels kind of gross. You own shares, so it means bullish, and selling calls on it is bearish. So it's kind of hypocritical, but it feels cool and is a very good gateway to be able to handle large sums amount of money at once. I think it's like the best vehicle to get used to handling larger trades, right? It's not very typical that you get to have that much leverage and being that much or that safe, or I don't know if leverage is even the right word, but using that much capital in one trade and being that safe. Okay, not to say you can't lose, but being that safe is hard to come by using that much capital in one trade. I would, for example, probably would not be anywhere as good as I am right now if I had never done covered calls for such a long time. I feel very safe when I feel assigned on cash secured puts, But yeah, that's because I know how to navigate covered calls pretty well. Covered calls can be extremely powerful way to improve cash flow on the account. It increased my portfolio gains by a lot this year. I mean, dude, Despada, yeah, you said it more eloquently than I did, but that's the same point that I was trying to get at. I have so many things getting called away today, including NVIDIA just opens room for new things next week. Yes, sir. Yeah, we don't want to be, I almost said compliant. We don't want to be complicit. We don't want to be, is that the right word? When you're just like, when you're okay with just like not doing anything. How to get started learning options? YouTube has a lot of great content for learning how to do styles of trading. I would probably go how to start. That's a great video idea, by the way. I should definitely have that be my next video. How to start. I think right now you just kind of like look at okay, let me answer the question. How did I start? I started on Wall Street Bets. And I was just looking at content. It was just really funny, and I saw people making money, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's really cool. I want to learn how to do that." And at the time, you could really only like buy long calls and long puts, right? Like that was like the majority of everyone's strategies. Now everyone's just so much more aware of all the different things you can do. But I would probably start by just watching and looking at options related content. And it sounds bad, okay? But this is where you're gonna have the biggest house edge, and this is where I'm gonna pause here. I would look at Wall Street Bets. Keep it funny, keep it fun, but just know that you shouldn't replicate a lot of that behavior, or really any of it. But that will open up questions that you want to ask. Like, say for example, you see a screenshot and you see someone mentioning, "Oh, long calls," or "Man, I should have gotten out here." Just go in the comments and then think of questions that you can ask into YouTube. Because I can just inject so much bias into you right now and just be like, "Yeah, I just learned this trade type, learned this trade type, and you're good." But I don't think that's the right way to approach it. You should approach any new hobby with explorative mindset instead of like a taught one. That's kind of like one that I've really been leaning into. Like when you learn something new, don't get taught it like right away. Try to like intrinsically enjoy it and then ask natural questions and then get that feedback loop going. I don't have any references for you right now because I don't want to shamelessly plug anybody. Because I would just feel much better if these people showed their like profit losses, but they don't, so I don't plug anybody. Plays like Peloton, I imagine you have to really believe in the management team. So puts, I never wrote a CC, but want to get into a wheel with something, maybe Hood or Palantir. Dude, I was just looking at Palantir and I got distracted. I don't remember what distracted me, but something did. So we'll get back to here. Complacent. There you go. That's the word. Where are you reading the additional questions from, Joonie? I'm reading a mishmash of YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Because I'm on the Streamlabs UI. Easiest way is to buy some shares under a cheap stock that is stable, then sell cover calls on your shares. That's a pretty good suggestion. If that entices you, maybe you look up what a covered call is. That might be a good place to start. Look for a stock that has low price and low implied volatility. Bitcoin hitting 69K to the moon. Preferably a stock that doesn't have a dividend. Dividends get more complicated with covered calls. That's correct. I learned options via Invest Tools. That was predecessor to Thinkorswim or Tasty Trade. Tom Sosnoff was involved in all of it. You can get videos off eBay. Good for some basics. You have to get permission from your broker to start trading options as well. We'll ask you questions before you get permission. That's correct. Thank you. I've been day trading foreign exchange for 8 years and looking to get started in options. Much appreciated. You're very welcome. Good luck. I would say paper trading, but nothing like having your money at risk to really learn. Correct. That is Mythbusters 101 right there for me. I don't like paper trading because it leads to a lot of false confidence, and you're not gonna know what it's like to fear your money, because that's what trading is really, just managing the level of fear you have with how probable your trade is. If you don't fear any money being lost, you could do some stupid stuff and generate a lot of false confidence. Selling puts requires a higher level of option trading permissions from your broker. Correct. Yeah, I believe level 1 is cover calls, level 2 is cash secured puts and a few other types, and level 3 is naked. That's my educated guess. Brian Lee, what up? Good morning, good morning. Oh, nice. Vespada XD. Yeah, it comes out as Brian Lee for me. Yeah, Micron, very annoying. I would also agree. This is, for being a semiconductor stock, it likes to have this down wave, lots of like periods of just flat double tops. Yeah, pretty hard stock to trade, IMO. And it doesn't have that like underlying conviction, you know? Like when you trade Nvidia, if you really buy into like AI, you can just always believe Nvidia will go up. That helps with a lot of the mindset that's required to trade something like that. I don't know how you get so excited and bullish about RAM. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, vengeance sticks, let's go. You know, it's not the same. I am considering doing a buy right for Palantir. But if Monday is a... This is like 1 week's worth of movement. Like you see this MACD crossover. This is bearish. This blue line crossing this red line. But the blue line is crossing back over right now. But it's only been 10 days. You know, it's like how yeah, it's done this. It's done this before a lot. You know, it goes down below a huge run. This is a pretty big run. Just a 2-timer. And then it's about to do this another one. But it's hard to... I'm not as bullish on Palantir as I am with just like Nvidia. And this account is much smaller as well. This is my 5K challenge account. I don't know if I could withstand a bear wave and be cool with it. I mean, it also depends. Let me see... Give me 1 sec. Let me see how much an at the money call pays. And if earnings are in 16 days, I'll do the 14-day expiry. 150 bucks. $150 for being at the money. I feel like I could get more premium trading Robinhood. Yeah, what the heck? I could get so much more. But can I buy 200 of these? 27, 26, 2676 times 2. Oh, I can't. That would be amazing. Oh, wait, you know why? You know why these are so expensive? It's because Robinhood has earnings, I remember. That's why they're so expensive. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I almost got tricked. Okay. I was like, dude, Robinhood has the same amount for half the capital. There's like no way. Okay. It all makes sense now. There you go. Yeah, me and Bespot are on the same page. Oh, dude, I'm so over time. Yeah, I because it's Friday, I would love to just make this a longer stream, but let me. Let me get some focus time. I'll open these last few trades right now because I do need to just record, but I know I want to get some trades in. Oh, this would be the sickest bull trap if it kept on going down. Thinking about opening 3 right now because I wanna think like I'm paying off my bearish play. That's something I'm considering, and I feel safer to open a higher number of contracts because I have this as a hedge. I have 100 shares being called away here, and I also have 1,000 shares being called away here. This has no delta on it though. This has 39 delta. Oh, 0 delta here too, because it's getting called away. So this one wouldn't necessarily change all too much. Robinhood cash secure puts are doing pretty good. Don't have to worry about this. What happens if I open the 130 and we start going down? Then I have a buffer till 127, 126.50. And I am safe till about here. That's pretty close to the 3-month. And we are just now coming off of like a double top situation. Oh, this is not bad. But maybe, you know, we start flying because all the call contracts expire today. And then we're good for next week. That's like also another way I'm thinking about it. It's like, do I believe in this double top more? Or do I believe in the bullish scenario more? We're also at like a longer term double top right now, which we already sort of rejected from but recovered. So that's also pretty bullish. See, this is how I sort of like think through my decisions, right? Like it takes me a while, but I think it's worth doing. It's kind of weird. There's no 131 strike. I'm just not noticing. It's just missing. Selling 501 would match this. Okay, I think I know my plan. I'm going to sell 5 of them now, and I have 5 of these to sort of hedge for those. This 127 I will add to if we start going down and we start to stabilize. Maybe not on the first red day, but like we go down, we start to stabilize. This will be the first position I add to on the way back up. Trend is your friend. And then if there's a risk of this turning red, I'll just take the green off the table because I would be red on my newly entered 5 contracts. So I have a position that I'll add to if we go down and then start winning. I have a position that I'll take off for green if we start losing to help buffer. I also have protection on the way down, but then I also have 5 contracts that help me on the way up. Okay, wow. That felt like mental gymnastics I had to go through. Holy moly. Okay, great. 130. Let's lock that in. think that was 360. Yeah, 360. Staying invested. I have long puts, hedging this position. I also have winning 127 and 132. What strike was that? Yeah, 132. CSPs that act as a buffer in case this is a short-term top. Expires before earnings. Cool. Okay. All right. And now we go to other positions. We want something in the 5K. I mean, we just don't want to get $1,000 and then not use it. Ideally, it's... Whoa. Something happened with Lumen. Something... Something good. Something... I'm not a huge fan of buying or doing something with hood because it leaves me with an awkward amount of money. I think I could add on to each of these. Oh. This is earnings play. I see. I would rather buy a call than add to this. This would not be good. Okay, I'm starting to see a little bit better picture. I think Palantir would probably be better, be the best then, because that keeps me away from earnings. 150 bucks is pretty good. It is in a possible short-term downtrend. I think I could keep up with it though. 39. 38. All right, let me see. Give me the 38. Give me the 38 CSP. What is that? How does that give me? 30. Oh, that doesn't give me anything. No, it's... Yeah, everyone's looking at it. That's just too possible. Or too good of a deal. I get it. Okay. With earnings included... 38 is 120. But I don't like that the short-term trend is down. This would be a bad spot to be in. Um. I don't know, dude. Like, keep thinking. Yeah, trend is down. And they have earnings. But I think I could be like a weekend early and then sell the 24. I think I like those odds. That seems okay. So put. No, but it's just so much better just to. No, maybe it's not better by cost. 54.52. No, that's not enough premium to justify the risk. I could just buy 100 shares, but that feels kind of bad. But it is also going in with a lesser amount than I had before. But I already have a cash secured put on it. I could go into Sentinel 1. I'm so close to being able to buy 200. I think 100 here is good. Then why am I in cash secured puts? Like that's what's driving me nuts. Like why am I? I like this. It's pretty cool. 26. Wow. Okay. I got it. Gonna keep these naked. Okay, seems good. Um, dude, I honestly might do a play in the main account. I could keep this 2.2k cash in case if I need to do something. Oh, I need to refresh this. I was like wondering, where did my 100 shares go? I think I'm willing just to slam it in hood. But maybe I do something like... I'll keep the 2.2k in cash. I'm gonna wait for Monday. Monday comes around, I'm probably gonna full port into Sentinel 1. That'll probably be my plan for the 5k. I'm gonna go back to my main. I wanna play Sentinel 1 in here. Dude, I really needed to record my podcast early today. Oh, it already filled this gap. It's kind of nuts. Why would you ever do that? That's kind of crazy. This gets me down to 25.30. $24.50. $24.50. Is that where also I left off? $24.50. It's pretty close. This is not bad. It's not as bullish as I want it to be, I think. It is safer. Like I could just put that money into crowd. It's cheaper, and I think it even gives me same amount of premium. Like it's 1100. It's like half for half, but I would feel almost infinitely safer. But I already have 2 of those. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I'm willing to accept less than 100 per. That would not fail. This would. Vicus, what up? Good morning. All right. I'm in. So on Monday, this should go up by what? How many did I get? 15? 12. So this should be 13 on Monday. Right here, open interest. I think open interest only gets updated once per day. Okay, so we're gonna log out of this one. Go back to Joonie. Okay, and then we're gonna go here. $115 at 26. 26. 115. Expiration November 29. All right. I like the short-term technicals on S. EMAs and MACD looks very nice on the 1 month, 1 hour. Honestly, it's like on all the time frames. It just looks good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this feels pretty decent. That said, don't copy me. Okay. Cool. Oh, that feels good. Strapped in, put on Delta back up above 200. Feels like I won't get too much FOMO if the market continues dredging along on Monday. Wow. Yeah, feel very good. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Joonie. I've been doing this for about like 5.5 years, 6 years now. Approaching 6 years in about like a month. What sets me apart from everybody else that you will find on either YouTube, Twitch, or Reddit, or really anywhere that anyone tells themselves or tells people that they're good at trading, I show this number. I show it very proudly, especially if I'm red. I'll show it still. Luckily, this year I'm green. I've been green every year except 2022, but even 2022 was a red year for SPY. Yeah, you can count on me to be streaming here at 9 a.m. Pacific time if you want to stop by again. You will get full transparency from me. I show all my trades just to prove a point that you could keep it simple and still win. I don't do anything crazy. You guys know all the stocks here. Like there's nothing here that you're just like, oh, what the heck is that? Is that like, are you trading cows? Or are you trading like currency or oil? I don't trade any weird stuff. I just trade regular retail trader stuff because that's where I started. I started on Wall Street Bets, and I'm very proud of that. I learned a lot of my lessons from there. The subreddit is not what it used to be, but we still go on it sometimes. Yes, I'm very late for the podcast recording. I also have a podcast on Spotify. It's called the Theta Gang Podcast, where I post a weekly podcast. I have not missed a podcast episode in quite a long time. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. I trade on Tasty Trade because I believe it has the best UI. This is where I handle hundreds of thousands of dollars because I trust it and I just think it's the best. So if you want to sign up and use Tasty Trade yourself, you could use that. You could use that link in the chat there. Let me post that one more time so it goes to both sides. It'll be a great help. I do this full time as well, and that was it. This is my job. This is what I do. Drop a follow if you haven't followed already. You'll get a notification when I stream live in the morning. I know it's hard to remember in the morning when everyone's like kind of tired and just waking up with a cup of coffee. Yeah, if you want to trade together and have this community, then feel free to stop by 9 a.m. Pacific on Monday. Bespada later. Rogan, have a great weekend yourself. Kaput says, thought about buying Palantir, but the P&E is outrageous. I am a DoD contractor. The government does not like having profit margins of their contractors exceed 10%. Ooh. I think that's where the CEO factor kind of comes in. I don't think the CEO really cares. Control Freak, have a great weekend yourself. Have a great weekend, everyone. Really good turnout. Today was a really good stream. T-Wall says, thanks, dude. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one yourself. I'll be in the Discord shortly. I wish I could multitask and be in the Discord, but I can't do it. You helped me sell some Palantir today, LOL. I feel better. Well, hopefully we don't regret it too much on Monday. But yeah, anything to make yourself feel better. You know, we want to be cognizant that we're not doing loss averse stuff. Like, we don't want to be attributing a lot of our trades to the, oh, I don't want to lose profit style. We should be more like, oh, I want to make more profit. But heading into the weekend, if it helps you relax a little bit and live a happier, 48 hours, I think that's well worth. That too, position sizing is huge. I think you and Nala are on the cusp of learning a position sizing lesson. But you guys are resident like junior traders, I feel. If you guys want, you guys could check out this link here. Take out the .com. Oops, that won't go anywhere. This will. Patreon.com/ThetaGang if you want to join my Discord community. Alright, I'm going to get recording. I've been slacking off too much. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.